My name is Jessica Simonetti. I go to St. John Fisher College and I am a senior this year. My major is psychology and English writing. I will be studying abroad in Rome, Italy through the AIFS program this upcoming spring. I've grown up in Rochester my whole life with my family surrounding me. My parents were not overprotective, but along the lines of that. I went to a private high school, private college, so I feel like I was never really exposed to different cultures, different religions, and just different ways of living. And apart from that also, I've never traveled outside the U.S. other than to Canada. So knowing that I'd be graduating in a few months, I really wanted to have exposure outside the country to really understand what it's like to be in a culture outside my own and in a situation that I wasn't necessarily familiar with, because I think that adapting to different cultures is very important in any job that I'd go into, to learn how to adapt with the different people I'm interacting with. In Rome, I'll be doing an internship with Bird & Bird, which is an international law firm. So my application process to go to Rome started with a meeting with my study abroad advisor. That happened probably the end of last year, where we started talking about it, started talking about the different options I had and different programs within each country. And then I applied to the AIFS program, which was pretty quick and easy. But then once I made my deposit, I had a list of different things I had to complete, one of them being the visa application, medical forms. The biggest struggle I faced throughout the application process was just trying to manage my time and completing that while also focusing on my grades and on my on playing volleyball and all the other commitments I've already had prior to the application process, because that added a lot of extra time and commitment that I had to add on to what I already had. So one thing I was worried about in the application process was that it was going to be difficult to communicate with the advisors actually in Italy, but surprisingly I haven't had any issues with communicating with them. They've been really good with updating me in emails or in phone calls. I had an interview with one of the advisors and it went, perfectly well. And since then we've been able to communicate. They've been updating me on everything I need. Regarding the itinerary and flight process for AIFS, they actually provide an itinerary for us automatically. Like right now I have an itinerary of a day-to-day basis of what I'd be doing, starting with where I'd be departing from in New York to where I'd be arriving in London, my different excursions, how long I'd be at each place, where my courses start, when they end. And my AIFS advisor also already planned my tickets for me for the airplanes and stuff, so it's actually pretty simple. I just tell them when I'd be departing and they already booked the plane for me. One thing I was most afraid of for studying abroad was to go to a different country by myself, but luckily my roommate and I worked out a plan where she would study abroad with me and we'd both go through the AIFS program in Rome. So that really kind of eased all the stress I had in regards to going to a different country and stuff. Right now what I'm doing to prepare for my time in Italy is I'm taking an Introduction to Italian Language course, which will provide me a basis on how to speak Italian. And I am doing a lot of research on my own to figure out what the culture's like in Italy and the geography and the different locations of different places that I would have to know when I'm there. One piece of advice that I really would love to share with people about studying abroad is in regards to how to finance the process. My biggest tips would probably be, one, to find a network of people that could potentially help support you. And my other tip would be to just really go out and search for jobs that you can get, even if they're part-time jobs. Any hours, any money really adds up. My biggest tip probably would be just to really understand how much you're spending in anything that you would usually spend money for, like going out to eat, going shopping. That all adds up and stuff. So really limit that, knowing that you'll be able to repay all those luxuries when you're abroad.